Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Carson. Today I'm diving into one of the most unsettling documentaries I've seen in a while, David Osit's Predators. So let's dive in. Predators premiered at Sundance this year and was nominated for the Grand Jury Prize. And honestly, it's a film that doesn't just look at the predators, it looks at our consumption of entertainment. And let me just say, I'm a reality TV junkie. Give me Housewives, give me Below Deck, Top Chef, Welcome to Plathville, 90 Day Fiancé, I'll watch it. And I'm also aware of the exploitative nature of reality TV in the aspect of producing. It's using real people for entertainment and ratings and holding the camera steady as people melt down and mental health deteriorates or lives are ruined. I think that's why this documentary was so fascinating to me. So let's start with what the film actually is. Predators examines the cultural phenomenon of To Catch a Predator, the NBC Dateline series where Chris Hansen and his team of decoys, camera operators and local law enforcement would lure men into sting operations under the guise of meeting minors. There would be cameras hidden in a suburban home. A nervous predator would walk in after conversations with minors over the phone or websites, and then boom, Hansen emerges for the famous line, "Why don't you take a seat?" It was reality TV, crime show, and public humiliation rolled into one. And the footage went viral before viral even existed. But what Osit does here is pull the rug out. He asks, what does it mean when catching predators becomes entertainment? And what does it mean when entertainment starts dictating law enforcement? Because the truth is, once the cameras rolled, things got murky. Police weren't just doing their jobs, they were part of the production. Evidence got messy, prosecutions fell apart, and in one tragic case, when a man decided not to venture to the suburban home of a minor, was approached at his house by law enforcement and killed himself. Suddenly, it wasn't just predators being trapped, it was the justice system and in some ways, the audience too. What's fascinating is how Osit frames this. He doesn't just stay behind the camera as a quiet observer. As the documentary goes on, he steps into the film himself. He admits his own history of being sexually assaulted as a kid by a predator, and he confronts Chris Hansen directly, particularly about the goal of this hit series. It's a powerful shift because now the filmmaker isn't just analyzing predators, he's asking whether Hansen himself became one, in a way, not sexually, but through the power he wielded to label people for life on national television. There's a moment where Osit points out that even an 18-year-old had his life destroyed because Hansen aired an episode calling him a predator, and it's so haunting, particularly while watching the obscured face of his mother as the kid cries off screen. Hansen caught predators, yes, but Osit suggests he also created victims. The film doesn't shy away from the entertainment factor either, and let's be honest, To Catch a Predator was addictive TV. The editing was slick, if devoid of humanity. The confrontations were dramatic, yet seemingly opportunistic, and there was a twisted satisfaction in seeing these men caught because, yes, a lot of them were exhibiting predatory behaviors. But Osit keeps asking, was this actually a public service? Or was it a TV show hiding behind the shield of morality? Because ultimately, it can't be both. Some of the most chilling material comes from the decoy actors themselves, and they were often young men and women pressured to flirt and improvise for the cameras, and they were put in uncomfortable positions to make good television. They weren't law enforcement, they were over 18, but they were pretending to be kids, and the show leaned on them to carry these sting operations. You realize how exploitative the whole setup was, even for the people supposedly on the good side. And then There's that iconic moment, the instant Chris Hansen walks in. For the Predator, it's suspended animation. Everything stops. Their life crumbles in real time, and we watch it like an audience watching a car crash. That was the hook. That was the entertainment. The problem is, once you strip away the satisfaction, you see just how manipulated it all was and how much humanity is lost between the edits. Osit is a filmmaker drawn to systems and the people who live inside them. He's interested in structures, governments, institutions, sports, and how ordinary people navigate them. With Predators, he applies that lens to American media, and what he uncovers is brutal, where TV shaped justice and justice shaped TV. For me, this film hit hardest when it blurred those lines of culpability. Yes, these men pursued minors online, and that's indefensible. But the show didn't exist to heal victims or prevent abuse. It existed to entertain us, and it often left everyone more damaged than before, and years later, still contending with the implications of the orchestration. In exposing predators, To Catch a Predator may have become a predator itself, and it's not an easy watch, but it is essential. David Osit doesn't just rehash a piece of TV history, he forces us to question why we found it entertaining in the first place, and in doing so, he asks us something even harder. What does it say about us? You've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe for all the latest reviews coming out at the festivals and coming into award season, and let me know your thoughts on To Catch a Predator. Were you invested in the show? See you next time.